So you're dealing with an insurance agent, or you're trying to become an insurance agent yourself. I need to explain a few things to you because these are some of the things that I wish that people knew that insurance companies and business owners don't tell you about the insurance industry. We need to get a little bit closer for this one because this is very important. So if you're new to the insurance industry and you're just thinking about joining it, someone gave you an offer, you really need to make an informed decision. One, are you licensed? If you're not licensed, you've got about 6 months to a year of learning to really get the hang of it. When I got licensed, I was fortunate that the company that I went with was really good at training. That's about all I got out of value from them, but it was amazing. I will give them a really good credit because yes, I did go into a cycle and I became number 7955 like a prisoner. And I chose that income level and I chose that job. I was happy there, but there was too many of us. And you just really couldn't stand out at the end of the process. So if you're going into a corporation like a State Farm or an Allstate or a major office, you've got Liberty Mutual call centers, you've got Farmers call centers, all of these companies, they really love to help you as a person, but they don't know who you are or really care that much. Now I know I just made all of the CEOs angry and they're just like, this guy's an a-hole and blah, 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 take him off the internet. Well, I'm sorry, that's just true. Go look at your paycheck and tell me that you're not a number on that paycheck before your name. And then go to a supervisor in the next department that is literally next to yours and ask them what your name is. It's not that they don't care. It's just there's too many people. That's one thing I wish I would have known when I went into the corporate industry. Now, the part that I really enjoyed that I got out of it was I learned how to be corporate style and listen to people more than talk and understand the management process. Moving up was really more so being quiet, and I was not a quiet person. So as you can tell, I didn't stay there very long. Over time, I was coached by some of the great people that worked there, and they turned me into kind of a mix of both worlds, knowing when to speak up and knowing when not to. And that part has brought me further in any industry, whether I stay in insurance or go into any type of business or run my own, which I'm looking at doing. And it helps me understand what's called managing ambiguity and employees and being a really good coworker and not just jumping to conclusions. It, so to speak, lets you think and decide what's the best move or best process or what's best for the person that you're talking to, rather than what's my emotional thought right now and how do I explain it to you, and if you didn't understand it, let me force it into your thoughts. Way off topic there, sorry about that, but it had to be said. That's part of the corporate industry. And learning the insurance part isn't just knowing the coverage. You're gonna get that part, but you're gonna forget pieces of it. A lot of these companies, like one I work for, amazing company, but there's a lot to learn. We work with 17 companies, 21 states. It sounds amazing. It's great for the customer, but I have to learn 17 different rules 21 times over. So if you're going into an industry that has multiple companies in multiple states, the benefit to me well outweighs the cost of learning and the experience. So what you're going to find is you're going to find agents that have a really high knowledge of the industry and how to sell. And I think you're going to be able to absorb more of that benefit going that route. Now, the thing is, it's stressful. You got to learn a lot of the stuff. There's a lot to know. And if you're brand new and have never done this, they're more than willing to teach you, but you have to understand that you're not going to get it all. The first 6 to 8 months, you're really just learning as you grow. You're eventually going to grow into the agent that you want to become. So that's one major thing that I've learned between the industry and being semi-independent. Now, there's another route that you could go, which is just being independent. You can connect with certain companies like AAA or Liberty Mutual, well, Safeco, and some of the Progressives and the Nationwides and all of those. They allow you to become partners. The problem that you're going to run into is they don't typically want a new person. So unless you've been in the industry, you already have clients or you have a large enough income to buy your way in and show that you're going to grow their brand without just throwing a bunch of fake stuff at them. They're not looking for losses. They're looking for someone to build with them and grow. And that also speaks to the power of those companies that have 17 or even 8 companies in their book of business. It shows that they've proven that companies want to work with them. There's a growth there, and there's a reason. So should you start off there? Possibly. If you're looking to become an agent on your own, I can tell you if you start there, you're probably not going to want to leave. And if you're looking for that large income, unless you find the diamond in the rough, where it's a company that will, 1, teach you everything you need to know, 2, constantly mold you and teach you the sales and the service and how to become a better agent, and 3, give you tons of benefits, give you leads, give you companies to work with, and really hone those skills. And then the 4th most powerful piece is to teach you to do that with them as well. Very, very few companies offer that option. I've been fortunate to be with one of them that does, and so that's an amazing piece. But if you're going to go off on your own, I'm not saying those are bad routes, it's just there's a lot of learning. You've got to learn marketing, you've got to learn sales, you've got to learn service or how to hire a service person, how to maintain that. You need to know the department because if they're sick, now what? There's a whole lot to running an operation that you really need to know with some of these options. So where do you go from here? Well, here's what I would do. I actually enjoyed the route I started. I started in a major company, I started at a call center, and I learned to sell instantly. My main focus was sales. I didn't really handle a whole lot of service, but eventually I learned the system to where customers would ask questions and I would just fix the problem. I would jump into the service portal and do it myself. They don't really love that part, but if you know what you're doing and you're really good at selling, they're really gonna let you do that option. Find a mentor. Even if it's in a call center or if it's at an office, someone that can help you, guide you with the path that you should take. Just know that a mentor isn't gonna do things for you. The only major benefit is they're gonna tell you when you're wrong, when you think you're right. But they're also gonna show you things that they've done that have been either helpful or hurtful to their business. And that's something that's huge. They're gonna give you guidance. They're gonna be that person that's gonna stand tough with you and help you kind of get through those portions of the day. I've been lucky enough to have several mentors, so that was really awesome. I had one at the corporate office and I have one at the one that I'm at now, and I've been able to myself become a mentor as well as a trainer and a salesperson. So there's a lot of different methods that you can go. You really just got to find which route is going to be best for you. For those of you that have just decided I don't have that drive, then it might not be the sales position that you're looking for, more of a service or an underwriting or one of those other departments. Just know that some states and some areas are really surging in claims. So if you go into the underwriting or you go into the claims departments, they might be 3 to 4 times busier than what you think they are. The other part that I wish I knew was the pay, because the pay is way different in both industries. If you go into corporate, you're 100% reliant on what they give you. Most of it's a salary. So if you're looking for a decent salary, especially if you're going to go into sales, that's cool. Like, it's there. And then there's sometimes commissions on top of it. Just know if you're making less than $50,000 a year in sales, you could start there. You could start at $29,000, add commissions in. If you do well, now you're at 45 to 50, and then you get raises. At the end of that process, the raises max out about 10 years from now. So you're $55,000 in a salary, and you're making another $10,000 to $20,000 a year 10 years from now. So there's a $70,000 roughly income. I can't quote any company, but that's what I saw. The other way is you start out the opposite. You start out at the low $2,000 to $3,000 per month, and you're making $30,000 to $40,000 per year with commissions. But you're typically in the commercial or the industry or the corporate version, you don't make more. You make your commissions, you start over. They own the book, they own the business. That's just how it works. Where you build your own book or build a book for a company and have ties to that, when you get renewals, that's when 10 years from now, you're gonna well surpass what the other one is. You're only going to make that $20,000 to $30,000 to $40,000 per year, but then it's going to be $50,000 the next because you have renewals, 10%, 3%, whatever the case is. Then you're going to have another year of renewals. And now you're at 65,000. And then the third year, you're getting another year and another. By year 6 and 7, you're sitting at about a 90,000 plus a year income if you're doing the right steps and the pay structures there. So there's a lot of options. If you go off on your own, same scenario. If you're willing to take on the work of doing it all, then you have those pay increases. But now instead of sharing it, you get it all for yourself, but you have to learn to break off from being the guy in the business to being the guy working on the business. And that's probably the biggest struggle, because those ones, you're once again doing the financing, doing the pay, doing the marketing. And the marketing is where the key is. When you're doing the marketing, you're probably working it as much as your agents are. And that's a problem if you're still doing that 5, 6, and 7 years later. Yes, you're making 60, 70, 80, 90K, but you're working your butt off. This guy's over here watching YouTube half the day. His boss is still yelling at him because he's not producing, but he's still $90,000 a year. He's kind of half-assed in it. He's kind of taking a half a year off, right? And then he'll go back into production mode. But there's a big difference between the two. So you've got to kind of lean at which way that you want. I know I'm making this one, the one where you're in the industry, sounds so much more amazing, but remember, that stress level is there with the multiple companies, multiple states. You've got different stresses in each option that you go with. I wish I would have known what I know today and exactly how all of those operated like I do know today, and hopefully that advice gets passed on to you. For the sake of ending this video, because I hope some of you are still watching, if you're not, I apologize, you've left me a long time ago. We need to say a little prayer for not having you with us. If you did watch this, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to know who made it all through this. By the way, in that comment, let me know what your thoughts are. Whether this was super boring and you never want to see me talk about this again, maybe add some Bitcoin talk and Ethereum and all that fun stuff. Let's get some Litecoin and whatever, all right? So Mark, you need to talk more about this. Or if you liked it, let me know what parts were helpful, if it was good to see, and if it was beneficial. Subscribe if you're not already. Turn the bell icon on so you get notified when I post new videos. Hit the like button so the algorithm loves me more. I do need some more of that. Down in the link below, you can buy me a cup of coffee if you really loved it. Only if you loved it. I'm Mark with Think Insurance. I'll see you in the next one.